At St. John's Seminary, they have a couple of times a year what they call formation days, where they give a whole day to a given topic. And that's on top of the formation process that's going on all year long and is being implemented internally, as Courtney made mention of. So for the past 5 years, with one skip for COVID, I've gone out to the seminary. And the first time I went was with Suzanne Healy, my predecessor. And we showed the movie Spotlight with all of the seminarians there, and then tried as best we could to facilitate a discussion with 100 people, which is a bit of a challenge, but we did it. And it was profound watching them watch that movie and the questions and concerns that they raised, which really spoke to my heart in the sense that they were asking a lot of what I would call the right questions.
Right.
It wasn't, well, how do you protect the priest? It was, how could this have happened? What do I need to understand? Why didn't this happen? They were the right questions. If I could have made a list of the right questions for them to ask, that's what I was hearing by the vast majority of them. So since then I've done, we haven't watched the movie again, although it's a new crop of seminarians, so we maybe could do that again. But since then, I've done a variety of things. And yesterday was very powerful because I was accompanied by a victim survivor who is advanced in his process of healing. And a big part of his healing is focused on bringing people back to the church, feeling safe to come back to the church, and wanting to work with clergy to do that. And so he spoke to them for an hour and a half yesterday morning on his experience, and he was harmed by one of our worst known and multiple victim pedophiles. And he spoke to them about that, and they were riveted, absolutely riveted. And listening to the ways in which this priest got access to Joe, they were then able, when I spoke in the afternoon and I got into what I call the nitty-gritty, this is why you aren't alone in a room. This is why you speak up when someone says, oh, why can't I just have a key to this? And why does so-and-so have to know everything? These are the things you do with vigilance and with steadfast commitment so that the holes where someone can sneak through can't even happen. Mm-hmm. We talked about being kind, listening men of faith here to, preach the gospel that God is love. That is, as Tom said, that in and of itself, to someone who is so deeply wounded and so desperately seeking human connection with someone who's safe, that can be the opening to boundary violations that you never intended, but you get drawn into. And so we talked about everything from mandated reporting, and here's the link to our Archdiocesan handbook with all the resources you could ever possibly want. We talked about boundaries and being consistent in enforcing them. We talked about when you're in trouble, when you're struggling, who do you go to?
Right.